Hi, everyone. Welcome to Intro to Informative Writing. In this lesson, I want to give you guys a little bit more information about what it means to write informatively. The last lesson we watched, we talked about what author's purpose is and the three different types of author's purpose. One of those purposes was to inform, which is the same thing as writing informatively. When we start our Pi project, the first section that we're going to fill out is the inform section. So because of that, I wanted to show you guys a little bit more information about what it means to write informatively, and we'll go over a few examples as well. So this is Intro to Informative Writing. So what is informative writing? You guys should all hopefully remember this from the last lesson, Intro to Author's Purpose. But in case we forgot, when someone writes informatively, they are writing to teach the reader something. So when you write informatively, you are trying to teach your reader something. That's what it means. So we're going to go over what it means a little bit more in depth. And, I keep moving my picture around. I can't find a good place to put myself. So when you write to inform, you use facts, not opinions. And I know you guys already know the difference between a fact and an opinion. But just so we're all on the same page, the definition of a fact is, my computer's going a little bit slow today. There we are. A statement that you can prove is true. A fact is a statement that you can prove is true. So some different examples of facts would be the sun produces light. The Beatles were a band. Mr. Simcox sometimes makes jokes. All right, so an opinion is a statement that describes how someone thinks or feels. And I'm going to have to move myself over here again because I'm going to be in the way. So some different examples of opinions would be, come on, computer, you can do it. There we go. First example of an opinion would be, it's too bright outside today. Or the Beatles were a great band. Or Mr. Simcox is the funniest teacher ever. So those are three examples of opinions. Notice how they relate to the facts. I kept them similar, but a fact is just telling you something that you can prove is true. An opinion is telling you how you think or how you feel or how the person wrote it thinks or feels. It's too bright outside today, or I feel the Beatles are the greatest band ever, or I think Mr. Simcox is the funniest teacher ever. These are all opinions because you can't prove them, okay? That's what makes a fact different than an opinion. We use facts and only facts when we're writing to inform. All right, look at that. I'm in the way again. So time to put you guys to the test. I think I'm going to need to be over here this time. So I'm going to show you guys three different pieces of text, and it's up to you to figure out which piece of text only contains facts. So things that you can prove. Number one, Jimmy just had his birthday. He turned 11 years old. I don't like hanging out with Timmy anymore because he's always sleepy. I think I meant to say Jimmy there. I don't like hanging out with Jimmy anymore because he's always so sleepy. All right, number two. Jimmy was 11 years old. He had black hair and he was 5 feet tall. Jimmy often fell asleep in his classes. Number three. Jimmy fell asleep in class yesterday. I wish I could fall asleep as fast as Jimmy. He's the best snapper I've ever met. So we just read those three examples. Take a moment and think to yourself, which one contains only facts, only things that you can prove? Number one, number two, or number three? If you said number two, or if you thought number two, then you were correct. Jimmy was 11 years old. He had black hair and he was 5 feet tall. Jimmy often fell asleep in his class. That's not saying anything about feelings or what they might think. It's just facts, just things that we can prove about Jimmy. Number one and number three contain feelings or thoughts, stuff that you can't necessarily prove. I don't like hanging out with Jimmy anymore because he's always so sleepy. That's something that you feel. He's the best snapper I've ever met. That's another example of an opinion here in number three, because that's not really something that you can prove. The best snapper, well, that might mean something different to every other person. So number two is the only one that just contains facts. That's what we're trying to do when we write informatively. All right, look at that. I'm in the way yet again. So in the end, what makes great informative writing? there's 4 different things that I thought of that really make informative writing great. So number 1, writing should be clear and organized. You don't want to jump all over the place. Number 2, the writing only contains facts, not opinions. We just talked about that. That's really important. Number 3, the writing stays on topic. And number 4, it's based on research. So whenever you're writing informatively, it needs to be based on some kind of research, whether that's information you read in a book or a study or a website that gives you reliable information on your topic. That's what you need to be basing your informative writing on. So keep these 4 different points in mind whenever you're writing something informative. We'll get a chance to practice this on our first section that we're going to be working on in our PI project, which will be Inform. Okay. So that's all I have for you guys. That is just some extra information to keep in mind when you're writing informatively. So when you're starting to write your Inform section of your PI project, make sure you look back at this lesson and make sure that you're doing these 4 different things, and that especially your writing only contains facts, not opinions. And that's all I have for you guys. So I will see you on our next lesson, and have a wonderful day.